The night enveloped everything in pitch-black darkness, and I navigated down an endless, desolate road. My car's headlights sliced through the inky blackness, exposing a grim and foreboding terrain. An oppressive silence hung as though the entire world was hushed in anticipation. As I drove, I spotted something bizarre up ahead. A school bus, ancient and rusted, abandoned on the side of the road. It was a strange sight, out of place in this desolation, and a chill ran down my spine like icy fingers. Curiosity mixed with trepidation, and I couldn't resist the urge to investigate. I pulled over, the night air heavy with an eerie stillness. With cautious steps, I approached the bus, its doors creaking open with a mysterious, echoing groan. The pale moonlight dimly lit the interior, revealing rows of empty seats. But my unease deepened as I walked down the narrow aisle. It wasn't open, not really. Ghostly figures occupied the seats, apparitions of children, their faces pale and lifeless, their eyes hollow and vacant. They stared at me with an otherworldly intensity, and I felt their spectral gaze pierce through my soul. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized I was not alone on this forsaken bus. The air grew colder, and a suffocating dread wrapped around me like a vice. These were not the passengers of the living world, but the lost souls of the dead. I tried to retreat, to escape the haunting scene, but the door slammed shut with a deafening, malevolent force. Panic surged as I realized I was trapped in this nightmarish nightmare. The ghostly children began to move. Their ethereal forms rising from their seats and gliding toward me. Their faces remained emotionless, but their spectral hands reached out, icy fingers brushing against my skin, chilling me to the bone. Whispers filled the air, eerie and mournful, like the lament of the damned. They spoke of tragedy, of a terrible accident that had claimed their lives and imprisoned them on this accursed bus for all eternity. Desperation clawed at my chest as I knew I had to escape this spectral prison. I rushed to the front of the bus, searching for a way out, but the doors were sealed as if by some unholy force. The ghostly children closed in, their eyes voids of sorrow and anguish. I could hear their whispers grow louder, a cacophony of despair that threatened to engulf me. In my frantic search for escape, I spotted a small window at the back of the bus. With trembling hands, I shattered it, ignoring the pain as shards of glass bit into my flesh. The cold night air rushed in, carrying with it the tormented cries of the ghostly children. I crawled out of the window, my heart pounding, and tumbled to the ground. The bus seemed to groan and protest as I escaped, its ghostly occupants trapped within, their mournful cries echoing into the night. I staggered back to my car, drenched in cold sweat, and sped away from that cursed place. The image of the haunted bus and its tormented passengers haunted my every thought. As I drove, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had witnessed something beyond the grasp of reason, something from the darkest depths of the supernatural. The memory of those ghostly children, their hollow eyes and mournful whispers, would forever be etched into my nightmares. A chilling reminder that the boundary between the living and the dead was not as solid as it seemed, and that some horrors were best left undisturbed in the shadows. The night was an impenetrable shroud, and I navigated a seemingly endless, desolate highway. The road stretched ahead like a serpent in the dark, coiled and ready to strike. My only company was the haunting hum of my car's engine, a solitary echo in the abyss. An unsettling sensation crawled up my spine, an eerie unease that clung to me like a spectral presence. The weight of the darkness pressed upon me, and I couldn't escape the feeling that unseen eyes were fixated on my every move. During this lonely journey, I saw a figure materialize in the distance. It was a hitchhiker, their silhouette barely discernible in my headlights' dim, ghostly glow. A surge of compassion washed over me, and I decided to pull over. After all, in the heart of this desolation, this person may need help. The hitchhiker entered my car without a word, their face hidden beneath the hood of a tattered jacket. I couldn't make out any features, but their presence sent a chill racing down my spine, like icy tendrils wrapping around my soul. "Where are you headed?" I inquired, my voice trembling as I attempted to break the oppressive silence. Silence was the only reply. The hitchhiker remained an enigma, their gaze locked forward as if they were a specter from the netherworld, silently guiding me to my doom. I couldn't help but steal furtive glances at my mysterious passenger. The hood of their jacket concealed their face entirely, casting an unnatural shadow that seemed to stretch impossibly far. An indescribable dread gnawed at my insides, like a sinister secret begging to be unveiled. Minutes stretched into hours, and the inky darkness outside deepened. The hitchhiker had not uttered a word, and my unease swelled with every passing mile. Doubts clawed at my mind, and I began questioning the wisdom of my decision to pick them up. Then, a sign for a remote town appeared on the horizon, as if by some malign twist of fate. Relief coursed through me as I realized we were approaching civilization. I resolved to drop off this unsettling passenger at the nearest gas station and be done with this eerie encounter. But as we neared the town, a sense of foreboding settled over me. The streets lay deserted, the buildings abandoned, as though the city had been forsaken by time itself. There was no sign of life, no comforting glow from a single window, and a suffocating dread took root in my chest. "Here's a gas station," I stammered, my voice quivering. "I'll drop you off here." The hitchhiker finally turned their head to look at me, and what I saw beneath the hood plunged me into the depths of terror. There was nothing there. No face, no features, just an empty void that seemed to consume all light and hope. My foot slammed on the brakes, and my heart pounded like a drum of impending doom. The hitchhiker's form underwent a grotesque transformation, contorting and warping into an abominable, otherworldly entity, a nightmare brought to life. With a blood-curdling shriek, I flung the car door open and tumbled onto the deserted street. The entity pursued me, its form twisting and elongating in ways that defied reality. It moved with an unnatural grace, like a shadowy wraith hunting its prey through the abyss. I fled through the town's abandoned streets, my breath ragged, my heart a relentless drumbeat of terror. The entity pursued me relentlessly, its raspy, inhuman breaths a chilling reminder of my impending doom, like the sibilant whispers of the damned. When I thought I could run no farther, I stumbled upon an ancient, decrepit church, its doors looming like a portal to salvation. I hurled myself through the entrance and into the dimly lit sanctuary with every ounce of desperation. The church was a cavern of eerie echoes, its pews draped in shadows, and an imposing altar loomed at the front. I knew I had to find a way to banish this abomination back to the darkness from whence it came. My trembling hand lit a candle on the altar, and I began to recite a prayer, my voice quaking with fear. As I prayed, the entity's shadowy form infiltrated the church, creeping toward me like a harbinger of doom. It emitted an unearthly, agonized howl, its shape writhing in torment. The candle's flame seemed to possess a power over it that fought to sever its connection to this plane of existence. With one final, gut-wrenching wail, the entity retreated, dissolving into the night like smoke vanishing into thin air. I was left alone in the dimly lit church, my heart still hammering with fear. The nightmare had receded, but the memory of that harrowing encounter would forever haunt my dreams. I had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death, and I couldn't help but wonder how many others had fallen victim to the phantom hitchhiker's malevolent grasp. The night pressed in like a suffocating shroud, and I hurtled down a desolate road, a twisted labyrinth of darkness. My car's headlights cut through the blackness, revealing a narrow path that seemed to stretch into eternity. A bone-chilling silence enveloped me like the air had frozen in time. I realized I had taken a wrong turn, and now I was trapped on this forsaken road with no signs of civilization. Panic clawed at my throat, and I could feel my heart racing like a wild stallion. The road ahead appeared to narrow, the edges of the pavement vanishing into the abyss. I thought it was a trick of my imagination, a hallucination born of fear. Still, then I saw it. The road was vanishing behind me. A primal scream tore from my lips as I watched the asphalt crumble into nothingness in my rearview mirror. It was as if the road itself was disintegrating, as if some malevolent force were erasing it from existence. I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, my pulse pounding in my ears. But no matter how fast I drove, the vanishing road kept pace, an insidious specter determined to consume me. Sweat drenched my trembling body as I tried to comprehend the horrifying reality around me. My phone offered no solace. There was no signal, as if the world beyond this nightmarish road had ceased to exist. The Vanishing Road continued its relentless assault, crumbling inch by inch like a ravenous entity eager to devour me whole. I felt the car sinking into the ever-expanding void, and despair clawed at my sanity. I knew I had to uncover the truth to escape this maddening nightmare. Up ahead, I spotted a decrepit building, a dilapidated gas station, its windows shattered and its sign hanging by a thread. My tires screeched as I pulled into the gas station, my desperation driving me to seek answers. I rushed inside, my footsteps echoing through the decaying structure, the air thick with the stench of decay. "Is anyone here?" I called out, reverberating through the eerie silence, but there was no response. The building felt like a tomb, like time had abandoned this forsaken place. I stumbled upon an old dust-covered map, my trembling fingers tracing its faded lines. It revealed the truth. This road was not supposed to exist. It was an aberration, a nightmarish anomaly that had ensnared me. I returned to my car, determination and dread warring within me. The Vanishing Road had now encroached upon the gas station, the building's foundation crumbling into oblivion. Desperate, I floored the gas pedal again, my tires screeching as I raced away from the Vanishing Road. But the malevolent force pursued me, the asphalt disintegrating beneath my wheels. I felt hopeless as the road devoured my car, leaving me perched on a sliver of pavement suspended in a yawning abyss. The void beckoned, a pit of eternal darkness ready to claim me. Then, a faint glimmer of light pierced the abyss. A bridge appeared on the horizon, spanning a chasm that seemed to defy the laws of reality. Without hesitation, I raced toward it, praying it would offer salvation. As I crossed the bridge, blinding light enveloped me, and the world spun into chaos. When the light dissipated, I found myself back on a familiar road, bathed in the warm glow of streetlights. Tears of relief streamed down my face as I realized I had escaped the Vanishing Road. It was like the nightmare had never happened, a fleeting dream in the harsh light of day. I continued to drive, my heart still racing, haunted by the horrors of the Vanishing Road. It was a reminder that the darkness held terrors beyond comprehension, that some enigmas were not meant to be unraveled, hidden in the depths of the abyss.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button.